Good morning and happy Saturday, everyone. Starting off the 7 a.m. hour with a live look outside. We got those blue skies peeking through the clouds. A little bit cooler of a day today, and we've got some storms to watch for. Thanks so much for sharing a part of your weekend with us. I'm Anusha Roy. Want to head over to Chris Bianchi right now because, Chris, for any folks who are maybe heading out for events or maybe a barbecue today, what do they need to keep in mind?
Yeah, I think early to mid-afternoon, Anusha, is the time where you got that barbecue, might want to have an indoor option. The weird thing is, I was just saying this to you a couple minutes ago, that if you got an evening plan, 5, 6 o'clock, that's normally kind of prime time for storms. We're probably all right come 5, 6 o'clock here in the metro area. So that's kind of the unusual part about today. Low to mid 80s for us. Clouds will increase, storms 1 to 4 p.m. for us. And some of those will include a risk for severe weather. So if you have a garden that you're trying to make sure doesn't get pelted by hail, today is the day to use those hail precautions. Right now, we're calm on HD Doppler radar. That'll change later today. A level 1 risk in this dark green, including the I-25 corridor, large hail damaging winds, and even, yes, tornadoes. There is a tornado threat as they head east of Denver. So one of those days you want to keep an eye to the sky and make sure you have a way to get those weather alerts handy dandy on your phone, whatever it is you're using. Make sure you got those weather alerts turned on. Meantime, as we head through today, again, those storms develop. Notice the timing here. This is pretty early, 2, 3 o'clock. We're talking about the storms, but then 5, 6 o'clock, we're probably talking about a sunny sunset for it tonight, despite the fact that we've got some of those afternoon showers and storms. We got more storms ahead, though, for tomorrow and for Monday. I'm going to have details on those coming up in my full forecast in just a couple minutes.
BJC, Bonanza 150 is coming on. I'm losing power quickly. I might have to put it down somewhere.
And soon after that, this ended up happening. It was a fiery crash in a quiet Arvada neighborhood. That was the voice of the pilot talking to air traffic control moments before this plane crashed at Oberon and Carr. This morning, NTSB investigators could be back out at that crash site. We're also working to learn more about the people who were on board. 9 News reporter Brianna Clark is joining us. And Brianna, that small plane, it crashed and then caught fire literally just feet away from someone's house.
Yeah, that's right. It was right in their front yard. And that person is okay, but we are still trying to find out how the people on board the plane are doing this morning. There were 4 of them, including the pilot. We know at least 2 are adults. All 4 of them were hospitalized after the crash with injuries ranging from critical to serious. According to flight tracking website FlightAware, this is the path of the plane Friday morning. It took off from Centennial Airport at about 9:30, heading to the Rocky Mountain Airport in Broomfield. Online flight registration also shows the registered owner is based in Larimer County. No word yet on what exactly happened, but the conversation between the pilot and air traffic control is helping paint a better picture.
I've got an oil light on. I'm losing power quickly. I might have to put it down somewhere.
Or 0 Whiskey Romeo Roger, let me know if there's anything I can do for you.
I don't know what to do. I'm going to have to put it down. 0 Whiskey Romeo.
Or 0 Whiskey Romeo, do you see anywhere that's safe for you to land?
I'm trying to find a field or a park. I've got something in sight. I don't know where I am.
Soon after that, air traffic control spoke to another pilot still in the air who reported a large plume of smoke on the ground. The National Transportation Safety Board said the plane was in the air for about 15 minutes before it went down. Investigators were out at the scene yesterday, and they could be back out again today as they try to figure out what happened. And that smoke that you just saw in the video behind me, that was crews trying to take the plane apart. And while they were doing that, flames rose again.
Yeah, you kind of get chills just listening to that conversation with the pilot and how scary that was. And the witness accounts are just kind of jaw-dropping of what they saw when that plane was coming down. So we appreciate you giving that update, and we're waiting for any new information from investigators as well. Thank you, Brianna. And that is definitely not where folks living in the area were expecting a plane to come down. Dee Williams lives nearby, and the plane clipped one of her trees. She didn't realize what was happening until she walked outside, and now she's just thinking of the victims.
I just hope the people are all right, that it was in the crash.
Evan Sherlock was driving when he looked up and noticed that something definitely was not right with that plane.
I saw an airplane and its wings were tilting side to side, and out the back of it looked like fuel or something it was dumping. And next thing I know, you see a giant plume of smoke, and I was there within a minute. It was a bit frantic. There was a guy with a garden hose trying to spray things down. There was construction crews that were running over and giving people water, tending to the people who had left the plane.
No one on the ground was hurt in that plane crash. Right now, a family in Denver is spending the weekend picking through the remains of their home after a fire burned through their house and then another one in the Green Valley Ranch neighborhood. Denver Fire responded to a backyard fire that started at this house and then spread next door. The department says that they were able to get it under control in about 15 minutes. A family in one of those homes was there when all of this happened. Thankfully, no one was hurt. While everyone is safe, the family is now coming to terms with the amount of damage.
Right now, there's so much going on in my head. I really don't know where to start. Never thought in a million years it would happen to me or to us, you know.
The cause of the fire is still under investigation, but firefighters on scene did tell us a barbecue grill was scorched at the house where that fire started. This week, one-year extensions were approved for the Marshall Fire rebates. It's for Xcel customers who lost their homes to the fire and are rebuilding. The new deadline for receipt of an approved permit is now June 30th of next year. That is for the mixed fuel rebate tiers. So starting next year, Xcel will no longer issue incentives to people who buy a home on parcels of land that were destroyed by the Marshall Fire. U.S. officials say aid shipments to Gaza will resume in the coming days now that the temporary pier has been reattached to the beach. The pier was damaged by severe weather 2 weeks ago. Engineers since then have anchored the pier into the beach with help from the U.S. And now that that is back, the goal will be to deliver 500,000 pounds of help a day and expand over time. InfoWars founder and conspiracy theorist Alex Jones has now asked a U.S. judge to convert his bankruptcy into a Chapter 7 liquidation. That move would allow Jones a streamlined procedure for selling his assets under a supervision of a court-appointed trustee. However, a Chapter 7 liquidation would not allow Jones to escape paying the legal judgments against him. Jones owes more than $1.5 billion for falsely and publicly insisting that the Sandy Hook massacre was a hoax. The family sued Jones for defamation and emotional distress, and then in 2022, a jury found him liable, but at this point, families have not received a penny. The Biden administration officials are saying that new asylum restrictions have not slowed down border crossings at the U.S.-Mexico border yet. Encounters at the southern border continue to average around 4,000 people a day. New asylum restrictions went into effect earlier this week. Senior administration officials say that they are expecting those numbers to drop. The new rules also allow them to remove people more quickly. The administration says they've conducted 17 deportation flights this week. And happening right now, marathon runners are tying up their laces for the Boulder Ironman. The race spans across several major roads in the area, so keep that in mind. So watch out for the athletes and road closures and detours if you're living in that area. We have that map up for you right now. They're using the Boulder Reservoir for the swim portion, so that's going to be closed to the public through Saturday. The running route goes around it, and then the bike portion is stretching north of Boulder up to Hygiene.